So how does a person? All right. So I see that you're ahead of the curve. All right, for as buying property and seeking out property. How do you? What's the process of doing that? Because I know they have certain areas that they develop, but they use a 10-year system that a lot of people don't know about, and they only get if you have $10-20 million worth of real estate, they let you in on it first. But how did you get in on that first?
Man, okay, so that's a good question because I used to randomly just pick houses to flip and rehab and stuff. And then, man, it's a crazy story. When I was 26, I got a DUI, and I did a community service instead of going through the trial, like the pretrial diversion program. Okay. I was working in George Bush Park, and the manager that managed the park was actually a real estate investor on the side. And man, he's an older white guy. I just started telling him I invested in real estate, and I told him, he was like, man, so how do you pick your houses? And I told him I just randomly pick who, I get people to send me leads, or I look on the HAR.com and find. He's like, no, you got to look at the city plans. He's like, the city, it's the city council, the planning and urban development department, all those departments, they pick where the next hot spot is for the city.
Yep.
And then what they do is they go in first, and they'll fix the streets, they'll do the sidewalks,
Yep.
they'll redo the street lights. He's like, and when you see that, that's a sign.
It starts developing.
Happening.
Exactly, because that's all the stuff that the public, the government side can do to entice the private investments from the developers.
Correct.
And then he said, watch the city council minutes, watch all the announcements about where developers are buying land at, and then wherever they're going, that's where you want to go, because the entire area around there is going to change after that happens. And so I started looking at the city, and I was like, dang, it started in the Heights and it went counterclockwise around Houston.
45.
Yep. Started at 45 and
Woodlands, Conroe, and all that stuff.
And at that point in time, it was like 2010, 2012. So the third ward was just starting. So I was like, well, dang, let me just get ahead of this curve. So
you went a little further up.
I was like, fifth ward it's the last quadrant. It's the last quadrant. So eventually it's gonna happen there. And so since 2013, man, I've been focused on Fifth Ward.
Wow,
man.